Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here in today's Daily Antidote of Song. This is a huge shout out to everybody out there on the live stream who may have been looking for us at our usual 12 noon. We've been having some pretty significant tech issues. It is 12:18. We are live and delighted to be here with you. Thank you so much for joining. Everybody in this room who's been sitting in here with all the tech issues listening to me babble, can we all please wave to the folks on Facebook Live? Hi, Facebook Live. And to the folks on YouTube, hi, YouTube. We're so glad you joined us today and glad you were patient and stuck with the program. So, welcome to the Daily Antidote of Song. This is a project of Carpe Diem Arts. And today is day 1408. Thank you for my cue card, Carolyn in Boise, Idaho. Okay, we're going to roll out some hellos to everybody in this room, and then we're going to explain to you today's dealio, because it's a dealio. All right, hello and thank you to Aaron coming in from Brooklyn, New York, who is running our tech today. Thank you so much. Hello and thank you to Jim Harkless, who's actually going to share a song with us today on the spur of the moment. Thank you so much, Jim, for being open to that. And Jim is coming in from Maryland. Bob and Mabel and Bears in Massachusetts. Deborah and Robert in Kentucky. Hey, Robert, always glad to see you in that square. Ruth in Birmingham, UK. Athena in Brooklyn, which also is reminding me day 1208, 1408. Aha, 1408. Athena, we have an extra 200 days we're going to tack onto your number. Thank you so much. Trish in Victoria, thanks for being here. Arlene in California. Susan in Ohio. Annette in California. Susan in Tacoma Park. Benet in Berkeley, California. Dan in Vienna, Virginia. Kathy in Colorado. Cricket in Maryland. Ann in Nashville. Sue in Seattle. Bob in Albany. Lola in British Columbia. Laris coming in from the UK with a beautiful background. Carolyn in Boise, Idaho. Hindi in Toronto. Sarah in Texas. Clive in Birmingham, UK. Not in Ruth Square, but glad to see you today. Kevin Ennis, who has no voice today. Sorry, Kevin, coming in from New Hampshire. Linda on Orcas Island. Hoda in British Columbia. Storm in Mass. Jim Scott, one of our song leaders, coming in, I think, also from Mass. Nice to see you. Lisa Dosher, also one of our song leaders, coming in from, I think, the UK. I'm not sure. Nice to see you today. Gary in Massachusetts, Becky in Vancouver, Fred in Silver Spring, Maryland, Kevin in DC, Jamie in Victoria, Deli in Maryland, Diane in Puerto Rico, Ann in Silver Spring, Maryland, Sheila in North Florida, Bronwyn in Victoria, Caroline in DC, Julie in Ontario, Elizabeth in California, Nancy in Washington State, Linda in Massachusetts, and Kay in Texas, Carol in Connecticut, Lynn in Connecticut, Mommy in New Jersey, Penny in Victoria. Glad to have you again, Penny. Sandy in Tacoma Park, someone on an iPhone who might be new to us today, and Sandy in Western North Carolina. Let's all take a deep breath. Thanks, everybody. So still no Chinobay jumping in the room as far as we've been able to see. Aaron, why don't you just call me on my telephone if Chinobay is able to make it in. So welcome, everybody who was expecting via the email we sent on Sunday, Melanie Demore, to be with us today. Her voice ran out and she had to take a pause. So we're going to have her on a different day. And then welcome again to everybody who thought that Chinobay was going to be singing with us today to this morning's e-news. This is like, the world according to the law of Murphy today. And we're having tech issues with Chinobay. He's in the mountains in North Carolina and his Wi-Fi has crashed. He's having issues with his phone. So we are going to hold on the idea that he might still join us. And in the meantime, the beautiful, amazing, incredible Jim Harkless, from Maryland, who's sung with us many times in this room. He is a member of Washington Rebels Jubilee Voices, who are doing quite a lot of programming this month for Black History Month. And Jim is going to bring us a song or songs we have yet to know because we've made no plan. Jim Harkless, the floor is yours.
Okay. uh, Thank you. I've never really done this. It's not my song, but it's one of the songs that we sing, and it's kind of appropriate for today. And it's called "Oh Lord, I Want You to Help Me."
I'm going right
Oh, it goes like this. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Help me while I'm singing. Help me on my way. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. So can everybody do that? we change what we are doing each time. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Help me while I'm singing. Help me on my way. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Help me while I'm working. Help me on my way. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Help me while I'm working. Help me on my way. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Oh Lord, I want you to help me. Help me while I'm praying. Help me on my way. Oh Lord, I want you to help me.
Beautiful, Jim. Thank you so much. Can we all please give it up for Jim Harkless, jumping in with really the quite perfect song today, at least from my perspective. Jim, you were singing to the Lord, and the Lord had already helped us because you were here singing to us. So thank you so much for bringing us that very beautiful song, and for being willing to jump in on the fly. And I am gonna see if maybe we are going to be able to sing with Chinobay after all, because I see he has arrived.
Oh,
So,
wonderful.
so Jim, let's all give it up again, please, for Jim Harkless. Thanks so
Wonderful.
much, Jim.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Chinobay, how are we doing over there?
I think we're doing great.
I think so too. Um,
Thank
so
you,
I,
Jim. That's a beautiful, beautiful voice, and so beautiful to hear that. Thank you for stepping in and carrying everybody's hand, carrying our souls. So, yeah.
You're welcome, Shinobi. And for some reason or other, I can't remember the baby's name. One of the reasons is because your other daughters, I think one of them is Faith. Is that right? Or
Yeah,
is it
Faith, Marcy, and Liana.
Leah Anna? Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah,
Those are the names of the daughters.
3 girls. Faith, Marcy, and Liana.
so Chinobay, how did we do with sound settings? Do you think we've got it?
I think I got it. So when I turn those 3 dots, I see now enable. I had to reconfigure everything, reset my password because I could not remember it. So it was a beautiful journey, but I arrived. Um,
So,
so I see original sound. It's on right now. If I tap on it, it brings a cross on the side. So that is on. So, but if I touch it again, then it kind of opens. But it should be on, I think, now.
okay, let's do a quick play me a line, and we'll just double check. Okay, so actually, can you try and tap on it again and see what happens when it's the other way?
Okay.
Got it. You're good to go. All right.
Oh.
No, Bay. Actually, before you Can you just say a little bit about the song? Because you were telling me about it during the sound check, and it's a great story.
Yeah, so a couple of things changed. So the song I'm going to sing, we are all going to. So this was we had a songwriting session with children on the 1st of February, and being Black History Month, we put a lot of these kids together in the room. They come from a lot of underserved, predominantly Black communities and Latino communities, and we just asked them questions of. Some of the things they would love to see, and in the world, and they started putting out words like joy, happiness, peace, equality, everything. So we wrote all those, every word like on the wall, and then we created this chorus to make sure we sing each of those words so that every child feels represented and their dreams. Originally, I was going to play the ndongo, which is right here. This is one of the most ancient instrument from Uganda. But with a change of sound, I can't do that now because I have to plug it in. The reason I was going to play that song was because that instrument was in the palace in the ancient days, when colonial times were happening. The royal court musicians took up instruments to basically fight for their rights, and they used to sing songs across the kingdoms to make sure that people understand, and that instrument was the instrument that they used. So the instrument in Uganda is related and connected to social responsibility, and how musicians who played that instrument, the songs they sang were songs of freedom, songs of equality of people. And so even until today, the instrument is still related to that. But now I'll play the kora, and the next time I come in the room, then I can play the ndongo. Well, that's a long story about the song, but so the words we are going to. So I'll sing the song. It's called Someday. Someday is like you're dreaming. Someday, we will smile again. Someday, we will dream again. So when I say dream, your response is, we will dream again. When I say dance, you sing, we will dance again. When I say you can put any words there, any word that fits. It's like a calling for equality, a calling for peace, a calling for rights, a calling for and someday literally actually means, when you say we will dream again, it means there was a time when all these communities, had this happiness. When you look in America and you think of the time the Native Americans were here, those were beautiful times when, their culture, their art, their fashion, their food was being uplifted. When you think of the ancient, time in Africa before slavery, there was everything happening. So now the world has changed. It doesn't matter where we are in the world, but we should be able to smile, dance again like we used to do all over the world that we came from. So let's sing. So I'll call the word, and then we shall sing it. Sing. Someday, we will sing again. Smile. Someday, we will smile again. Travel. Someday, we will travel again. Dance. Someday, we will dance again.
la nola la konon seve Kalea la nunumari kumamba Kanona talala suno la moduma Ilana la kalala lulu
Someday.
Someday we will smile again.
Sing again.
Someday we will sing again.
Dance.
Someday we will dance again. Someday, we will dance again. Someday, we will dance again.
So the beautiful thing is that when all these kids were writing all these words, everything they wrote was actually positive, was joyful, was happiness. And sometimes they remind me how best to live in a community free of greed, free of power, and just filled with so much compassion and love.
Someday, we will smile again,
Sing again.
someday,
Sing.
we will sing again.
All right.
Woo! Okay, that was so beautiful, Chinobay. Thank you so much. Very soothing and very uplifting. Lots of hope in that song and joy, as you mentioned. They were all putting in positive things, but also a really good energy reduction program, which just really, I think, we all maybe got to take a nice deep breath with that, and it was just so gorgeous. What else would you like to share with us today? I mean, like chatting or more singing, whatever you feel like doing.
Yeah, I think chatting, I think I feel grateful that, we are like a family here. It feels like we go in a living room for a visit. So the way I feel about this space is where you come and it's not really a performance. It's more of a conversation. It's more like sitting and having a cup of tea, having a cup of coffee, and people are all relaxed wherever they are. So I just, feel joyful and just remember, yeah, so much happening around the world and how we have to sing louder and sing for the people that cannot sing and be able to let the music live on and remind them that we all love them and think about them and uplift them. So yeah, I'm just very grateful and thank you for your patience and and waiting for me to get back in here. It went differently, but it is equally I enjoyed it equally.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Chinobe, for your patience. So that differently, but yeah, it's really interesting what you just said about the fact that it's kind of like not a performance, really. It's kind of like sitting around with a group of friends, and so that actually the sound check snafus made it more that today because we were all just kind of hanging around, like sort of getting everything together all together, which was very, very cool. And it reminds me, actually, yesterday, Chick Street Man was in the room with us, and he brought us a song that he's never sung live before. He wrote it like, I think, goodness me, we must be on like 15 years ago when the Sandy Hook massacre, I think that was what it was. I could be messing that up, but he brought us a song that was written at a time when there was a school shooting, and and he had never performed it because it didn't feel like a performance song. And he chose to bring it out here in the space, I think exactly because of that. It's like you're sitting in a coffee shop or in a room with a, living room with a fire going and a group of friends. And so I'm so glad to hear you say that's how you receive it too. That's really meaningful.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that. Actually, I wrote a song during I think it was it was around the time of Santa Claus when there was a school shooting, and that on one side of the world you have a lot of children smiling, and on the other side of the world you have parents, mothers, and fathers, and families really struggling. So it's amazing that when music is written with the stories, carrying people's stories, those stories stay alive even after a very long time. So yeah, so this is beautiful because coming in this room again feels like you're coming home, and you feel so peaceful because the people in the room make you feel that way. They represent the true meaning of music, which is joy, not about perfection, but beauty. So that is, I think, what I enjoy. I enjoy the beauty in here as opposed to the perfection.
Thank you so much, Chinobay. Yeah, it's actually interesting when we talk about this space. We don't really call anybody audience, so we say attendees. That's still too formal. Or do we call this an event, or do we call it it's a hard thing to describe and to talk about because it's so unique. So Chinobay, you just said something about it being like coming home. And that pulled up, of course, into my head your Come By Home song. And I don't know if you have that up your sleeve enough to close us out with that, or if you want to sing the same one again, and either way is just fine.
Yeah, I'll sing the same one again because I'll have to change keys. But I'm gonna come back in the room again anytime this month I'm available. And then whatever, I'm always very happy to be back. And then I wanted to respond. There's a question in the room about I have a new album coming out from my solo project called Listening Spaces, and this will be out sometime this spring, and I'll share that. And there's a beautiful comment saying someday the Wi-Fi will work again. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, so we'll just sing it together again, and I don't know if you see me. I just lost my camera.
I see you. Oh, wait, whoops, now I don't see you. Okay, here we go. What else is going to happen? All right.
I should be.
There you are. Yep. You're a little sideways and upside down now, so we'll just wait until hopefully you can straighten yourself out. And I'm going to throw out another thank you to Jim Harkless for jumping in today with the song. Jim Harkless, that was so beautiful. And I think you're back in the room now. I think you also dropped because the universe is conspiring against us today. But we refuse. We refuse to let them win. Ready, Chinobay?
Yes.
All right.
Someday, we will smile again, dance. Someday, we will dance again. Someday, sing. We will sing again. Around the streets of my hometown, no place to come back home. If you just put your hand in mine, we're gonna leave all the problems behind. Someday, smile. Someday, someday, sing, we will sing again. Dance, someday, someday, we will dance again. Someday, someday, we'll smile. We will smile again.
Woo! Okay, thank you, Chinobay. That was so completely beautiful. Can we all please give it up for Chinobay?
Thank you so much.
So I love that you got the little words "come by home" in there. That was really a nice little mergery there. I really liked that.
Yeah,
So
and it's one where you can put your own words and the word that you imagine. So I think music should be reflective. People should be able to get in and sink in and uh, and yeah. So I'm very grateful and very thankful for being invited again. And I hope that everybody has a beautiful rest of the Black History Month and the coming months and the years, and so much joy and peace and greatness for everybody.
thank you so much, Chinobay. So another big round of hands for Chinobay. Thank you so much, Chinobay. We can't wait until the little teeny one is old enough to join Mercy and Faith and singing with you in here, because that's just been such a treat to have them. And we're going to go ahead and wave you out of the room so that you can get back to your, small kiddo who you're home with. But let's all do it again. Thanks, Chinobay.
Thank you.
Loved having you. Can't wait to have you back. We'll maybe hopefully get both of the songs that we talked about today that you didn't bring in today another time. So
Absolutely.
thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
Lots of love. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody in the room, for all of the amazing smiles and great community spirit through what was a really exciting and interesting day. I don't think we've had one quite that exciting and interesting since we've started. We had other funny little, tweaky things, but I think this one wins the prize. So I saw somebody put in the chat, I think it was Bob, something about it being Plan C when Plan B didn't work, which is really exactly the whole thing, right? So here's to Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. And I can't wait to see you guys all tomorrow, hopefully for Plan A, because it is really amazing to see the ways that everybody just kind of, brings their best self. So thank you so much, everybody. Let's wave to everybody out there on the live stream. Thanks so much for joining us today. To Bob, Mabel, and the Bears in Massachusetts, Deborah and Robert in Kentucky, Athena in Brooklyn, showing us that today is day 1,908. No, just kidding. She has 1,408. Thank you so much to Athena for being another one of our fabulous day counters. Trish in Victoria, Arlene in Berkeley, Susan in Ohio, Annette in California, Benet in Berkeley, Dan in Virginia, Ann in Nashville, Sue in Seattle, Bob in Albany, Lola in British Columbia, Laris in the UK, Caroline in Boise, Idaho, Sarah in Texas, Clive in Birmingham, UK, Kevin in New Hampshire, Linda on Orcas Island, Hoda in British Columbia, Storm in Mass, Gary in Mass, Becky in Vancouver, Fred in Silver Spring, Maryland, Kevin in DC, my father-in-law Joe, who's standing right over here. Let's see where we were. Kevin in DC, Jamie in Victoria, Delhi in Maryland, got Ruth in Birmingham, UK, Diane in Puerto Rico, Anne in Silver Spring, Sheila in North Florida, Caroline in DC, Susan in Tacoma Park, Kathy in Colorado, Hindi in Toronto, Nancy in Washington State, Lynn in Connecticut, Penny in Victoria, R on an iPhone, a second generation iPhone no less, Sandy in Western North Carolina, Jim in Maryland, Aaron in Brooklyn. Thank you for running our tech today. I think we got everybody. Let's all take a deep breath. See y'all tomorrow. Thanks so much, gang. Lots of love.